Okay, let's go to business. Our first story. Separatist group, the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, appears to have allowed reasonableness to overturn its earlier order of sit at home from November 4 throughout the southeast region. According to the group's spokesman, Ima Powerful, the cancellation became necessary after timely intervention by elders, leaders of thought, and traditional institutions in the southeast. Again, he said IPOB made the about face, volte-face if you like, following insinuations that the group was involved with the forthcoming elections. IPOB has enjoined Anambra sons and daughters to take advantage of the window and elect a governor of their choice. Okay, Adekunle, so like it or not, tomorrow is election day in Anambra State.
By the grace of God.
Okay, and hard work.
Yes.
So IPOB is saying no more sit at home. Reasonableness has come.
I would have been disappointed if it had been otherwise. If you follow history, in the last election in that state, even though IPOB, the now powerful IPOB, was not this powerful then, you know, this was the same scenario that played out at the 11th hour. You know, IPOB, which had stoutly,
was against
election and people going on, now said, oh, I was talking about the second term election of Governor Obiano.
Oh yeah.
But that minute, reason prevailed, and they said, go ahead. So last week, I think I was on this program and I was saying, I'm expecting that something similar will happen, that at the 11th hour, the same IPOB will say reason, because, see, let's be honest, there are many leaders in Igbo land, traditional, political, all sort of, religious. They know who the leadership of IPOB is, and they do talk to them that, please, there is nature abhors vacuum. If you don't elect a governor, what happens? Whatever you are fighting for, does it make any sense? You get my point? So at the traditional level, at the political level, religious level, all kinds of leadership, they've been working very hard to persuade
behind the scenes,
of course, to persuade the leadership of IPOB. Whether you say they are outlawed, they are not outlawed, the truth is that just like the name of their publicity secretary,
Adekunle,
they are
that
powerful.
Name IPOB has been outlawed.
Where I was trying to say, just like the name of their publicity secretary, they are powerful. Powerful in the sense that they give order. People who are not in government, outlawed, illegal, whatever we call them. But when they give order, without any means of backing it other than violence or whatever they want to use, they always overpower even, constituted authorities. To me, it's strange, but that's what's happening. So now, they said people can go and vote, and the way they did it, they said, okay, good. Nobody said go and vote for anybody or any party. That people should go and vote for any candidate of their choice. To me, that's beautiful. But if you look at, as at 2 hours ago, from reports we monitored, I'm talking from the Nation newspaper, what we have seen, maybe people are already used to obeying IPOB. Now, damage to me has been done. And what do I mean?
But please confirm, your boys are already there.
Of course, we have people on the ground.
And what feelers are you getting?
The feelers that even when you say people should go out, and people, all shops, everything remain closed. People fear for their lives. They know what they've suffered, when they make any attempt. to just flout the directives of IPOB. Even though you see governors, security agencies trying to say, come out, you are safe, go and do your... And when you read, in the press release from the powerful IPOB, as I like to call them, they were saying they realized that they have to feel for mothers, feel for these people who make money on a daily basis. I said, okay, if you do this...
When did that realization
That
come?
is the point I wanted. When you feel this, why have you been inflicting pains, woes on this set, type of people who form the bulk of, the state populace? Because people who make money on a daily basis, who don't belong to government or any salaried, employment, they are the people who are in the majority. If you ask them not to come out, what you are doing to them is that you are punishing them.
Okay.
You are starving them.
Bola, at least we are happy that reasonableness, as I said, has come to play here. So, too little, too late?
Well, Cecily Jones, I would have been so surprised if IPOB didn't come out to tell the people to go out and vote. Basically, tomorrow...
You saw it coming?
Yes, I saw it coming. Okay? You see, let's just realize one thing. The damage has been done. Not only that, but I know one thing. Tomorrow, the election will hold. If IPOB didn't direct people to go out
whether or not,
the election will still hold. But the fact still remains that the turnout will be lower because the directive to the security agent is to make sure that the election holds. Basically, I won't say, and I don't agree that IPOB is so powerful. Okay? IPOB, people are listening.
Bola, I'm not blocking you, so Adekunle is hearing you.
The issue is this, people, you see, IPOB is the creation of the people of the Southwest.
Yeah.
We've been having groups, and we've been having reactionary groups all over Nigeria. Okay, the Boko Haram...
Yusuf is inebriated with the name Ima Powerful.
Powerful. I don't believe IPOB is powerful. It's the creation of the people, because the people of the Southwest, they supported.
Bola, but we are talking about the mind thing. It's the mind thing. We are talking about
Southeast, not Southwest.
No. See, listen to me. I said one thing. I said in the North, we've had Boko Haram. Are we saying that Boko Haram was so effective and so powerful that people didn't go out? In the Southwest, we had OPC. Are we saying that the OPC was so powerful and was directing all the people of the Southwest that they should not go out? But in the case of the Southeast, what we are witnessing is that IPOB is the creation of the people because they supported the people. Not only the people that supported, the political class, they supported IPOB for their own selfish reason. And they are now suffering for it.
Selfish reason.
Yes, selfish reason.
Okay, at this point, folks, we must join Jide in Abuja. Jide, good evening. Good evening to you. How do you do?
Good evening, Citizen Jones. I'm fine.
Yeah, this nation's people, newspaper people, think they can choke me. They forget you are there. Now, whether or not they like it, the elections will hold in Anambra State tomorrow. But there's this fear about turnout.
Yes, it's an unusual election, and an election punctuated by anxiety, fear, violence, having characterized the campaigns leading to the election tomorrow, to the point that even the candidates could not openly campaign. Some of them took their campaigns to neighboring states. So this is an election like no other in terms of the anxiety that it has generated. But in spite of that, just as I had predicted when IPOB came up with the idea of a sit at home that was clearly tallied with the period of the election. I said at that time that I was sure that reason will prevail in the end, because there are still some individuals that have the gravitas, that have earned the respect of IPOB. I felt such people could speak with IPOB and get them to see reason. Remember that IPOB earlier revoked its sit-at-home order every Monday. It was as a result of pressure from Ohaneze, pressure from the likes of the respected former governor of the state, Chukwemeka Ezefe. So I was banking on the Ezefes of this world to at least talk to IPOB and get them to revoke that order that was meant to coincide with the period of the election. The truth is, IPOB at this stage is like a pressure group. Their leader is in detention. They are doing everything to pile the pressure on government and to get government to look at the possibility of making peace, the possibility of rapprochement with the group. And you can see with the meeting that the governors from the southeast, they also didn't relent. So through different channels, appeal was made to IPOB, and like the way they succeeded in getting IPOB to revoke his earlier order, sit-at-home order for Mondays, which they now decided would only be implemented on the days that Kanu is brought to court. We have seen such pressure mounted on them to allow election to take place, and they have decided to let election take place. Of course, people still get attacked on Mondays, despite the fact that IPOB, that instituted the civil disobedience for Mondays, has revoked that directive. There are cultists, there are renegade IPOB members and other people who have taken it upon themselves to force people to stay in their homes. So it is so bad now that not everyone listens to IPOB. There are now different groups that have come out enforcing an order that IPOB
like
has
the
since
Biafra,
so,
Biafra
no doubt about
National
it,
Guard.
given the nature of campaigns for this election, we are not going to have a large turnout. Even in peacetime, when we didn't have the kind of violence going on in the southeast at this time, election had never been well, in terms of turnout, the turnout had never been impressive in Anambra State. In 2010, 1.84 million people registered for the election, but only 304,000 voted, representing just 16% of the registered and eligible voters. In 2013, 1.727 million people registered, but 475,871 voted, representing 24% of the registered voters. In 2017, 2,064,134 voted. Were registered. But 448,771 voted, representing 21.74%. So the highest that we have seen was recorded in terms of percentage was recorded in 2013 when 475,871 people voted, representing 24%. So we have a situation in which since 2010 we have not had more than a quarter of the registered voters in Anambra come out to vote. And at those times, we could say there was peace. So with the threats of violence in the southeast and Anambra at this time, your guess is as good as mine. The turnout would definitely be low. We have 2,525,000 persons registered to vote in this election. but we don't know the percentage
That
that will come out. I mean, the number of people that will come out.
All right, except that as journalists, we don't go into this business of
Prediction?
yeah, prediction and so on. You know, but then Anambra State people, men and women, boys and girls of voting age, have something to prove to Nigerians.
Well, that's our expectation.
Yeah.
I pray they do see it that way. You get my point? We want them to use that election, including INEC.
It's our business to encourage them to go out.
That's why I said that's our expectation, and I expect that they do see it that way. INEC, this is also an opportunity for INEC to prove a point that in Nigeria you can do election without resorting, heavily to manual, methodologies and all that. That you can deploy technology heavily into what you are doing and get credible results. It will also be a plus for INEC. It will also be a plus for our electoral system. It will also be a plus for everybody. Now, the people of Anambra, I expect that they don't get, cowed or intimidated by, because we are talking only about IPOB. If you look at the quantity of personnel in terms of security agencies in our election that I know too well, in terms of coverage, when you have heavy presence of security, personnel,
folks,
sometimes what the government thinks is always not what the people sometimes think. People feel intimidated, sometimes cowed into staying away from the polling booth. We don't want that to happen. We want people to come out. We are talking about 24%. You see, Nigerians that I know, in terms of when it comes to crisis, the best of them normally, comes out. I expect something like that to come out in Anambra, that people just feel, we are going to show the world that we want. So they can surpass the record they've got.
As a matter of fact, Bola will say yes to this. Anambra State has the highest number of, wait for this, billionaires in the country. That is the state of the Ziks of Africa, the Ziks of this life, Ojukus, Emeka Anyokus, Chinua Achebes, and so on and so on. They have something to prove.
Fine, they have something to prove, but the deed has been done. How many of the so-called millionaires that are still living, how many of the politicians are going home now with the climate of insurrection, climate of violence and death permeating the land? Not only that, what of the businesses operating in the state and across Southeast? Are they stay home? What are we saying? People are hungry and people are hungry. They didn't know that this will turn out to what we are saying. Then, if they want to prove anything, the record is there. And Jide, just said it now. He gave us record of the number of the turnout during peace time. Now, there's violence.
Relative peace.
Yes, relative peace. Now that people are being so caged, and you want people to come out. Basically, from the reports I've been hearing from Anambra, the state government said, they gave the people holiday today. Many people travel out of the state.
Yeah, the holidays were for yesterday and today.
Many people have traveled out of the state.
That's
but
the report
basically,
we're getting.
What we are saying, and I wish it will happen, is that people should come out and vote. But the environment is terrible.
Okay, let's talk directly to you, Anambra man, Anambra women, Anambra boys and girls. This is your moment. Get up, size it up, and seize it. We might as well go straight to Anambra State, where our man Ayo Ozubaku is waiting for tomorrow. Ayo, good evening one more time.
Good evening, Citizen Jones.
Yeah, how are you? What can you tell us?
Yes, Jones, I can tell you that I wish I shared the optimism of those people in the studio, because something that happened today, as of yesterday night, it was reported and it was well circulated everywhere that the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, they've suspended the sit down at home, 5 days sit down at home order they gave earlier, that they have suspended it. So some of us were happy that we could move and do 1 or 2 things today. But lo and behold, when we woke up today, and I can tell you that I'm in Oka. Oka is about the most, the biggest city, and where you can feel the impact of everything in Anambra, the pulse of the state. And I went around the streets and I discovered that people complied with the directive almost 95%.
What directive? What directive are you talking about?
Shops are closed everywhere, locked down in Oka, as I'm telling you now.
What directives
no
are
movement. That means the implication of that is that they've said from the 5th to on the 10th, that is from today to Tuesday, the 10th of November, there might not be movement for 1 week. And the mainstream Biafra, they've tried to intervene, to suspend it, to do everything. But as I'm talking to you now, people are afraid and people have decided to stay at home.
Yeah,
and that might be the faith that will befall. You said you don't like people projecting, and I can tell you, President Jones, that I don't see any magic bringing these people out to 22% of what we had before. Because the level of compliance, I drove around town and I discovered that non-state actor might have taken over the narrative
listen
in
to
the
me.
Southeast Nigeria. I can tell you that.
Yeah, okay. Mine is this. Have you listened to the local radio stations there? What can you tell me about this? What are the stations there saying?
What they are saying is that they are talking about the press release and the communication of the mainstream IPOB yesterday, suspending the sit-at-home order so that people can come out, go about their regular activities, and even participate in tomorrow's exercise. But what I saw today, I discovered that the center can no longer hold. That once you give this order, once you say, look at, that's what Jido was talking about. He was talking about the Monday order. IPOB has been on it over and over, and they've told us that, look, they've cancelled the Monday sit at home. But what we have now is that it's still the same situation on Monday. Monday is out of it in the Southeast. I spent the last Monday here, the same thing.
I must say this here. Let me say this here now.
So they started the sit at home.
Thank you very kindly.